Ella and Grandpa's garden light. Ella was a little girl with pink pajamas and sleepy eyes. Every night, before bedtime, Ella visited Grandpa in the garden. Grandpa had a small garden behind the house. There was a tree, there was a flower, there was a little path, there was a wooden chair, and there was Grandpa's lantern. Ella loved the lantern. The lantern made a yellow light. The lantern made a small circle on the ground. Ella looked at the light. Lantern, she whispered. Grandpa smiled. Lantern, he whispered. Ella held Grandpa's hand. Grandpa's hand was big. Ella's hand was little. Big hand, little hand. Ella looked at Grandpa. Grandpa, she whispered. Grandpa looked at Ella. Ella, he whispered. Then Ella looked at their hands. Hand, she said softly. Grandpa nodded. Hand. Ella smiled. My hand. Grandpa smiled. My hand. They walked down the little garden path. The night was blue. The house was warm behind them. The garden was quiet around them. Ella looked at the tree. The tree was tall. The tree had many leaves. The leaves moved gently in the night. Ella pointed. Tree, she whispered. Grandpa looked up. Tree, he whispered. The lantern light touched the tree. The tree looked big. The leaves looked small. Big tree, small leaves. Ella looked again. Tree, Grandpa whispered. Tree. They walked a little more. Step, step, step. Then Ella saw a flower. The flower was near the path. It was small and sleepy. Its petals were closing for the night. Ella bent down. Flower, she whispered. Grandpa bent down too. Flower. Ella looked carefully. The flower was pink. The flower was little. The flower was closing. Close, Ella whispered. Grandpa smiled. Yes, the flower is closing. Ella watched the flower open, close, open, close. Grandpa held the lantern closer. The yellow light touched the little flower. Ella, whispered, good night, flower. Grandpa, whispered, good night, flower. The flower stayed still. The flower was ready for night. Ella stood up and held Grandpa's hand again. Hand, lantern, tree, flower. The words walked with them. Grandpa pointed to the house. Look, Ella. Ella looked. The house had a yellow window. The window was bright. The door was blue. The door was closed. House, Ella whispered. Grandpa whispered. House. Ella pointed. Door, Grandpa spared. Door. Ella looked at the window. Window. Grandpa whispered. Window. The house was waiting for them. The door was waiting. The bed was waiting. But Ella wanted one more walk. One more walk, Grandpa? She asked. Grandpa smiled. One little walk. They walked around the garden chair. The chair was old. The chair was wooden. The chair sat under the tree. Ella touched the chair. Chair, she whispered. Grandpa whispered, chair. Then Ella looked up at Grandpa. Sit, she asked. Grandpa nodded. Yes, sit. Grandpa sat on the chair. Ella sat beside him. The lantern sat on the ground. The tree was above them. The flower was near them. The house was behind them. The night was all around them. Ella leaned on Grandpa's arm. Grandpa's arm was warm. Ella's bunny was in her hand. She held the bunny close. Then Grandpa pointed to the sky. Look. Ella looked. There was the moon. The moon was round. The moon was bright. The moon was high. Moon, Ella whispered. Grandpa whispered, moon. Ella looked at the moon for a long moment. Round moon, bright moon, high moon. Then she saw one star. Star, she whispered. Grandpa whispered, star. Then another star came, and another. One star, 2 stars, 3 stars. Ella counted slowly with Grandpa. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Ella smiled. The stars looked like tiny lights. The lantern looked like a little star in the garden. Ella looked at the lantern. Lantern. Grandpa whispered, lantern. Ella looked at the star. Star. Grandpa whispered, star. Lantern. Star. Lantern. Star. Grandpa placed his hand over Ella's little hand. It is time to go home, he said. Ella looked at the garden. She looked at the tree. She looked at the flower. She looked at the lantern. Then she nodded. Home, she whispered. Grandpa stood up. Ella stood up too. They walked back to the house. Step, step, step. Ella whispered, good night, tree. Grandpa whispered, good night, tree. Ella whispered, good night, flower. Grandpa whispered, good night, flower. Ella whispered, good night, chair. Grandpa whispered, good night, chair. The lantern light moved toward the house. The door was waiting. Grandpa opened the door. Open. The house was warm. Ella stepped inside. Grandpa closed the door. Close. Ella looked at the door. Open, she whispered. Grandpa whispered, open. Ella looked again. Close. Grandpa whispered, close. Open. Close. Open. Close. The house was quiet. The hallway was warm. Grandpa and Ella walked upstairs. Step, step, step. Ella's room was waiting. Her bed was waiting. Her blanket was waiting. Her pillow was waiting. Grandpa opened Ella's bedroom door. Open. Ella walked inside. Grandpa placed the lantern on the small table. The room filled with yellow light. Ella looked around. There was her bed. There was her pillow. There was her blanket. There was her bunny. Bed, Ella. Grandpa. Bed. Pillow, Ella. Grandpa. pillow, blanket, Ella. Grandpa. Ella climbed into bed. Grandpa pulled the blanket up. The blanket covered her feet. The blanket covered her legs. The blanket covered her little hands. Ella looked at her hands. Hand, she. Grandpa smiled. Hand. Ella held her bunny. Bunny. Grandpa. The lantern was still glowing. The moon was outside the window. The garden was outside the house. Grandpa sat beside the bed. Ella looked at him. Grandpa, Grandpa. Ella smiled. Grandpa touched the lantern and made the light lower. The room became darker. The lantern became smaller. The night became closer. Grandpa whispered, "Look." Ella looked at the window. The moon was there. The star was there. The tree was outside. The flower was asleep. Grandpa whispered, "Moon." Ella whispered, "Moon." Grandpa whispered, "Star." Ella whispered, "Star." Grandpa whispered, "Tree." Ella whispered, "Tree." The words became small. Moon, star, tree. Ella's eyes blinked slowly, once, twice. Grandpa whispered, "Close your eyes." Ella whispered, "Close my eyes." Grandpa whispered, "Close." Ella whispered, "Close." Ella's eyes closed a little, then opened a little, then closed again. Open, close, open, close. Grandpa smiled. He kissed Ella on the forehead. "Kiss," Ella whispered. Grandpa whispered, "Kiss." Ella smiled. "Hug?" she asked. Grandpa leaned down and gave Ella a warm hug. "Hug," Ella whispered. Grandpa whispered, "Hug." The hug was gentle. The lantern was low. The bunny was close. The blanket was warm. Grandpa whispered, "Good night, Ella." Ella whispered, "Good night, Grandpa." Grandpa whispered, "Good night, Moon." Ella whispered, "Good night, Moon." Then Grandpa stood up slowly. He walked to the door. Ella's eyes were almost closed. Grandpa looked back. Ella held her bunny. The lantern rested on the table. The moon watched through the window. The garden slept outside. Grandpa whispered one last time, "Good night, my little Ella." Ella whispered very softly, "Good night." Grandpa closed the door just a little, not all the way, just a little. Outside, the tree rested, the flower slept, the chair waited, the garden was still. Ella dreamed of Grandpa's garden. She dreamed of the tree. She dreamed of the flower. She dreamed of the lantern. She dreamed of Grandpa's hand holding her hand. Big hand, little hand, warm light, yellow light, moon, star, home. Good night, Ella. Good night, Grandpa. Good night, little bunny. Good night, yellow lantern. Good night, garden. Good night, house. Good night, moon. Good night, star. Good night, night.